Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Trinity Competitive Racing for round 10 of the Platinum class, and we are back for another week of racing. This time we are in Japan for the 2/3 mark of the season. We got 11 drivers tonight, possibly 12. We'll see as the qualifying session goes on as to whether or not we get that 12th driver, but we do have a grid here tonight, and as of now, the skies are looking pretty gray, which has been a familiar theme this week. If you have been watching the Silver Class and Golden Class races throughout the week, you would know that it has not been sunny whatsoever, except for the beginning of the Silver Class race, but looking like it is slick conditions for now, but we will see as the night goes on. My name is Camden Luca, per usual in the booth, but tonight I will be doing this solo. Unless if Chabar wants to save me at the last second again. After a few weeks ago, he did that. He jumped in the booth last second, and he's actually done that a couple of times this season. One of those times, he actually technically started a race due to not hitting the spectator button at the start of the session. So Chabar has more platinum starts than I do this season. I guess he can say that. But B-Tom, points leader, starting his lap. He is the first one out on track to start his lap, and B-Tom going for 4 championships in a row. He's been his usual consistent self, but has not gotten as many podiums as last season, as you see the Aston Martin taking some evasive action going off the track there, which is pretty much what you have to do in the S's at this part of the track. There's not really much wiggle room to get off the track if necessary, but B-Tom going down to 6th gear, down in turn 8. That little right-hander, and now here comes the hairpin. If there's any corner you're going to lock up, it's going to be this one. And if there's any corner that you're going to see by side-by-side racing, and it's definitely going to be the hairpin of turn 11 as well. As B-Tom making his way through Spoon, turns 13 and 14. Now, I don't want to say this, but back there, it's kind of easy to finesse the track limits going through Spoon. It's very easy to go wide and for the game to not recognize that you're exceeding track limits, so I wouldn't be surprised if somebody does that today, if they go wide and somehow not get a track penalty, but B-Tom decided to stay within the white lines. He comes to the finish line, puts up a 126.9, which is a pretty good banker lap, but we'll have to see what the pole position time ends up being. If you're curious as to what the all-time record is, because we do have those statistics, the all-time qualifying lap record is held by Kersey. It's a 125.8 back in Season 10 when these cars were a little more glued to the ground, but right now, GTR Lion putting up a lap time. We want to welcome the current Golden Class points leader onto the grid for tonight's Platinum Class race, and current winner, actually, from last night's race. So he's looking to get that first TCR championship in the Golden Class this season. He and his teammate in the Golden Class are both here tonight, actually. Remsley, who is second in the standings, putting in a lap right now, and he's had a very respectable season in the Golden Class, just like his teammate. Both of them 1-2 in the standings, so I am very curious to see how they do tonight. But for now, let's take a look at Forzan. Forzan, he had a pretty good week the last time that we were racing in the Platinum class. He ended up getting the victory in Spain, which was definitely a long overdue victory considering he actually won a race on track this season back at Abu Dhabi, but because of penalties, he ended up having that win taken away. So Forzan getting his second podium of the season and his first victory in the last race that we were at in Spain. But here he comes back to the pits after putting up a 127.6. Remsley to the line, a 127.7. So he is not far behind our reigning winner in this class, which is pretty impressive to just come right up here to the Platinum class. And immediately put up a banker lap that is almost the equivalent of Forzan. Jose finishing his lap, he puts up a 127.8, and Jose has also won a race this season back at the Netherlands. And if you did not check out that race, I encourage you to go check it out. It was round 4 of the season, and it was one of the craziest races that you will see. It was a 3-tire special, and he actually did not win that race on track. He ended up winning because his teammate at the time, Vamu, which I haven't seen Vamu in a little bit, but I think he's still in that seat, did not take all 3 compounds and ended up getting disqualified from the victory. So one of those unusual race wins for Jose, but besides that, Jose has had a pretty respectable season. 5th in points. He's got only that 1 podium back at the Netherlands, but he's been very consistent. He's only got 1 DNF, and it came in the first race of the season. So Jose's been putting up pretty good numbers this season. Let's ride on board with Mebby here through Spoon, turn 14. Let's see what kind of a lap time he can put up. Mebby's last race, 6th place at Spain. He didn't show up at Austria, but he's had a couple of close moments this season. Nearly won the Netherlands. He had a podium back at Qatar, a couple of 4th place finishes in between, but let's see what kind of a banker lap he can put up, and it is P2, a 127.1. But so far, nobody has been able to touch B-Tom, the only driver in the 126s. Fire at Flow on the board, 128.3. And I do want to shout out Raikkonen making another start here in the Platinum class tonight. Actually, a former Platinum class full-time driver. And he is making a start in the Red Bull tonight. 3rd in points in the Golden class. Looks like you having a giggle was starting a lap, but he is backing out of it, so maybe had an issue in turn 1. But you having a giggle is another Golden class driver coming up into the higher ranks for tonight's race. You having a giggle actually is on the list of one of the drivers with the most starts in this league. He has over 100 starts, which classifies him as a TCR veteran in our books. So, Giggle, a long-time driver. We'll see what he can do tonight. And with 11 drivers, I mean, these guys really need to be aware of that and realize that there's a good chance you're getting points tonight if you don't crash out. So, unfortunately, though, there will be one unlucky driver that will not get points tonight. What about Chargers? Let's see what Chargers can do here on his out lap. His first attempt at a lap. He goes off in the grass, which is not where you are supposed to put your car, but he makes his way through the hairpin down to 2nd gear. And that's one of those corners to where it's really interesting to see how low can you go on the gears. Some people go down to 2nd. Some people, like myself, only go down to 3rd, and if you want to spin out, you go down to 1st gear. We had a situation on Tuesday in the Silver Class race where somebody went down to 1st gear, and that was obviously too much for them to handle, and they ended up spinning out in that corner. So choose wisely as to what gears you shift down to at this track. But Chargers making his way through the Casio Triangle, as it's called, that final chicane of turns 16, 17, and 18, and to the line, a 128.1. B-Tom will be the next guy to cross the line, and looks like he has aborted his lap, though, so he will not be the next driver to put in a lap. Forzan is up by half a second, so we're going to ride on board with Forzan here and see what he can do as he heads through Spoon. And this would put him pretty close to pole position for now. See what he can do. Like I said before, those curves, so easy to go to the right of those curves, but if you do it right, you will not invalidate your lap. This track has always been kind of glitchy through that corner back there of track limits. So, Forzan taking a very tight line through 130R right there. Through the Casio triangle. Hard on the acceleration out of turn 18 and to the finish line. He will put up a 126.661, top of the charts. The second driver in the 126s with 6 minutes to go in qualifying. I feel like I said 6 like 6 times right there. Professional, the only Red Bull tonight, at least from the full-time driver's perspective, as Silent is not here tonight, which is a big story because Silent is only 11 points behind B-Tom in the standings right now, and third place is also not here tonight, so B-Tom looking to really take advantage of this opportunity and go for yet another championship. Let's take the former runner-up in the standings, Professional, up to P4 with a 127.2. Right behind him, Jose, 127.4. And I said earlier as to how these two guys right here, the masters of the Golden Class, are really going to try and kind of make a name for themselves tonight here as Remsley jumps his teammate, goes up into the 127.4s. So this really doesn't surprise me to see these guys up here and, you know, rivaling times with some of the fastest Platinum Class drivers because, quite frankly, Lion and Remsley have been in a world of their own in the Golden Class this season. As a matter of fact, they have won just about every race. And, oh, there's Confessor, so we will have 12 people tonight. That's good to see. But yeah, Remsley and Lion, they have won just about every race, except for one of the races, which was won by Raikkonen. And KD, our Golden Class commentator, he ended up winning the first 2 races of the Golden Class season, but besides that, it has been... Oh, and Segrist. I don't want to leave Segrist out, but he won a race as well. Besides that, it has been all Lion and Remsley in the Golden Class recently, so it's definitely going to come down to those two in the championship. Fire Up Flow looks to be starting a lap. Not sure, though. He might have just backed out of it, because his battery usage is not really going anywhere. Yeah, I think he bailed out of that lap. Take a look at Mebby here. He is good by 3/10, which would leapfrog B-Tom on the leaderboard. So let's see what he can do here. Oh, really? That is interesting. Is he... Maybe he's coming back in? He's thinking he can do a better lap than what he was about to do? Because we do have 3 minutes left in qualifying, so this is the time that you need to come back in and get back out. B-Tom, though, is on a flyer, 2/10 to the good, which would put him right around Forzan's lap time. So let's ride on board with B-Tom since we really have nobody else to ride on board with. And just a reminder, if you are watching on the YouTube or Twitch side of things, be sure to give us some love, and especially on the YouTube stream, hit that like button, subscribe. I know that we are close to 600 on the YouTube side, so make sure to subscribe to get us to that big number of 600. Oh, Fire Up Flow looks to have just had an issue. It's back there in the S's. He is out of the session. B-Tom to the line. Only P2, so that will be his qualifying. Since we have just 2 minutes left, and he definitely does not have enough time to do another lap. So B-Tom will not be on pole position. Forzan looking good right now, but here comes Mebby out on track. GTR Lion on track. And look at this conga line. Both Red Bulls, one of the McLarens looking like Giggle, all coming out. You see them all coming out. There's 5 of them in the pit lane right now, making their exit out onto the track. And now it's just a question of, can anybody get ahead of Forzan? I want to watch Confessor here because he's quick. Former Season 5 champion of the Platinum Class. He won a couple of races in Season 15, hasn't had the numbers that he has wanted this season. He did win the Austria sprint race and came second at Spain, but besides that, hasn't been up to standards that Confessor would want, as he is 6th in the standings. But let's take a look at Confessor for his first and only attempt at a lap, but he hit the curbs, and that is a sloppy first corner, and it's probably not going to be pole position for Confessor, and at this point, he's just got to try and put up a clean lap, do what he can to get back to the finish line, but not a good start through Sector 1 for Confessor. Yeah, he is definitely being aggressive with those curbs, which this is one of those tracks to where it really has a lot of corners that you can jump the curbs and be aggressive with the curbs, and it's, you know, it's the preferred line actually to really get on those curbs if you want to get every thousandth of a second around here. So Confessor is doing that, definitely taking advantage of these curves. I want to see what he does to Spoon. Goes from 6th to 5th. Back up through the gears of the 130R straightaway. Is it I30R or 130R? Correct me in the comments. I think it's 130R. But here comes Confessor through the Casio triangle. On the acceleration to the finish line, it will be a 128 flat, which doesn't surprise me considering he had a pretty sloppy first sector. Alright, so let's see what these guys have in store. It looks like GTR Lion. Not sure if he's on a lap, if he is. RPMs sounded a little low there. Yeah, I don't think he's on a lap. Lots of guys retiring. Forzan, though, is up on his lap. So let's see what he can do here. Looks like Chargers may have had a crash there under the bridge. Oh, and Forzan just invalidated, so his qualifying is over. He would have not improved, so it doesn't matter anyway. Here comes you having a giggle. Raikkonen is behind him. Jose as well, so we're going to watch Giggle come to the line first. Looks like he might improve for his first lap of the session, a 129. Raikkonen, a 127.5, puts him up to 8th. And now it's up to Jose. Goodbye Fortes. This could put him on the second row of the grid, and it will. He will qualify in 3rd, but Forzan will qualify on pole once again, and looking for back-to-back victories. So Forzan gets B-Tom by 72 thousandths, and B-Tom was one of the first people to finish up his lap. So we'll see where his pace truly is at, because he really didn't get a chance to go down to the wire in qualifying. You know, he didn't get to put up a lap with, 2 seconds to go the way everyone else did. So we'll see if B-Tom can get by him. Pretty good lap times from these Golden Class drivers, though. It's funny. GTR Lion, Remsley, and Raikkonen are 6th, 7th, and 8th on track, and they're 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in the Golden Class points. So these guys just can't get away from each other. But and Giggle as well, joining us tonight, one of the Golden Class drivers. But it is that time. It is predictions time. So leave your predictions down in the comments. I will go first, and I will do this rapid fire because Formation Lap has been turned off for the remainder of the season due to ongoing glitches with the Formation Lap in this game. Just seems like they can't ever get it right. But I'm going to take... it's either Forzan or B-Tom. I'll go B-Tom. I think B-Tom is pretty confident tonight just because he knows that the 2nd and 3rd in points isn't here. And, yeah, I'll take B-Tom P1. I'll take Forzan P2. Hopefully Forzan can prove me wrong. It's going to be those guys finishing 1st and 2nd, which I think are safe options. But And then I'm going to go Confessor P3. He really didn't get a chance to go and qualify. He only had one lap, and on that lap, he definitely had a couple of errors on that lap, so I don't think we've seen his full potential yet, just based on what we saw in qualifying. So I'm going to go B-Tom, Forzan, and Confessor in my podium, but leave your predictions down and do it quick because formation lap will not be happening. So, and you know, one of the things with this game is that you really don't know when these guys are going to start. If you look at the top left of the screen, ladies and gentlemen, all it tells me is that we are waiting for the players. So they could start, and they're starting right now. See? I told you. All right. Round 10, the Japanese Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go from the Japanese Grand Prix. Who gets off the line good? It looks like B. Thomas side by side with Forzan. He's going to get the jump on him into turn 1. And Nebi now taking a peek, but he will remain in P3. Will Forzan try a move back on him in the S's? No. B-Tom P1. Look at this midfield battle. Confessor trying to make up some spots here as we go on board with the helicopter shot. And now onto the TV camera. He's side by side with Remsley, and Remsley's going to give him the position. That was a little close there. Coming out of that corner. Giggle and Chargers exchanging positions. Raikkonen down to 10th. Oh, and it looks like there's trouble under the bridge. Lion had a poor exit, and now he's side by side with his teammate. But Remsley will back off now as they head into the hairpin. Remsley going to get a good acceleration out of the corner. Who is going to let who by? And it looks like Lion will be a good teammate and let Remsley through. Back up front, B-Tom was able to get the jump. Let's take a look at the positions gained and lost. B-Tom gaining a spot. Confessor up 3. He's looking good for a possible podium, as actually he's going for yet another spot on Professional. Professional not going to lift though. He's breathing on the rear wing of Confessor as they head into the Casio Triangle. Oh, look at this. Fire Flow going to war against Lion. It has not been a good start for the points leader of the Golden Class. He's now under pressure from Raikkonen. Will Raikkonen make a move? Yes, he will. To the inside, using a bunch of that battery into turn 1. He's got the position. And Lion gonna just tuck in line here as they head through the S's. Definitely a single file freight train as we get our first helicopter shot of the night. Very brief helicopter shot. Back up front, oh, Forzan. He is there. Wasn't able to get good acceleration off the line. Puts him back in P2. And Forzan has not touched the battery, however. He is definitely being patient. He knows his full potential. He's going to remain in line. B-Tom has touched the battery just a bit. As we take a look at our preferred race strategies at the bottom of your screen, it's looking pretty split between hard and medium. Giggle is being an outlier on those soft tires, but it's pretty much hard and medium, with the majority of the front runners choosing the hard tires. Remsley looking to possibly take advantage of Professional once they get to the front straightaway, as DRS will be active this next lap. Confessor trying to make a move. He goes a little deep, has to cut the chicane. I wonder, will he give that position to Jose? All he has to do is just let off a little bit here, and technically Jose will get the position, but I don't know. I don't think that was necessarily a bad overtake, but we'll see. He did go off the track while making the overtake, so we'll see if that ends up being put in the post-race submissions, but for now, Confessor gets the spot. Let's check back in with these two right here in the midfield. Remsley going up through the S's in this uphill left-hander of turn 7, down to the right-hander of turn 8, and under the bridge in turn 9 right here. And this is really your prime overtaking opportunity, and there's a spin. Confessor has spun out in the hairpin. So after gaining all of those spots, Confessor going right back to where he started. That's a shame. It's Battle in the midfield closing up here, and we will keep an eye on the lead. But for now, Remsley breathing all over Professional. He is draining the battery, trying to make an overtake happen, and he recognizes that Professional may have a little bit better straight line speed right now. Up front, though, Tom might have gotten a little sideways under braking, but Forzan is there looking to pounce. He's got Mebby all over him as well here as we enter the front straightaway. We see them snaking left to right, trying to break the draft. Raikkonen pressuring Fire Up Flow for the 7th position as well. Battles everywhere. Right ahead of them, Remsley, Professional, Jose still in their battle, and like we said, the front two are still on top of each other. Forzan being very patient, has not used the battery. This is his apex a little bit there in turn 8, allowing Mebby to close in slightly. Under the bridge. That is one of my least favorite corners there, under the bridge in turn 9. And I'm sure a lot of these people can agree. Professional Remsley switching hands, Professional down to P6. Lion now pressuring Confessor after Confessor made a mistake in the hairpin. But Confessor gets a nice exit out of turn 14, and yeah, he is pulling away. Lion going to use a little bit of battery there to keep within distance of Confessor. Back at the front, though. Can Forzan get a good bite out of this corner? Yes, he does. He is there. Will he use some of the overtake? Try and make a move, and he's going to stay in line for now. Remsley Professional going at it once again. Remsley getting eaten up here. Fire Flow going to go to the inside. Oh, look out! Remsley hits the curbs and he spins out. He was side by side with Fire Up Flow, got on the curbs. The back end came around from him, and he goes down to last. That sucks, because he was really holding his own here, up in the top 5. Making his first start of the season in the Platinum class, I believe, but he's got some work to do. Get back up to the front with the likes of Forzan and B-Tom. Oh, Raikkonen goes off the track there in turn 9. Another issue for a Golden Class driver, and now he's got pressure from Giggle, who is another Golden Class driver, on a quicker tire at this point in the race. But he's got pressure from Chargers. Man, I don't know who to watch. You got the battle for the lead, you got the battle for P10 with Chargers all over Giggle. Good stuff. Chargers really has used the battery most, I think, out of a lot of these drivers. Giggle has, Raikkonen. Some of these guys at the back have used their battery quite a bit, but as you go up towards the front, you ignore Fire Up Flow's battery. You go up to the front, battery is pretty full, especially for guys like B-Tom and Forzan. As we enter lap 6 of the race, Mebby is really biding his time, and you know what? All these guys being conservative with their battery has allowed Jose to push and close in on this DRS train. So it is a 4-man battle for the top, and Forzan is there. Wow. Definitely looking like the faster driver right now between these two. Especially through this slower section of the track. You can just see Forzan is all over the rear wing of B-Tom, but he's got pressure from behind too. Doesn't seem to be making much mistakes. Now the question is, when are these guys going to push and try to make an overtake? Because it seems like they have been relatively patient early on. But Forzan looks to have gotten a better run through Spoon. Definitely hit his apex a little bit better. B-Tom going defensive. Forzan not pushing it just yet. I think he's got to make a move on the front straightaway. Oh, Mebby took a peek. Here comes Jose to the inside. There's not much room there, and there's contact. Jose gonna lose a little bit of time, but he's still there on Mebi. Man, B-Tom gets a really good acceleration out of the chicane. I noticed more times than not, he definitely gets the advantage over Forzan in that corner, but for now, they remain 1 through 4 on track. Giggle and Chargers exchanging positions, and Charger has the spot. It looks like he just did that around the outside, so a good move there by Chargers. One thing I love about this track, you guys, we have so many helicopter opportunities. This is great. I could literally just do a broadcast from that point of view. That would be awesome. Down into the hairpin. These guys are nose to tail for the front 4. B-Tom has not cracked yet under pressure, despite all the pressure that Forzan has been applying throughout the entire race. A little bit of distance now, though, from 3rd to 4th. Oh, now B-Tom going defensive. Forzan following him down the track, which he did not do the previous lap, which tells me Forzan might be setting himself up for a move, and he is into the Casio triangle. Forzan trying to get the position, and B-Tom will give him the spot. B-Tom down to P2. Now it's a question of can Forzan pull away. B-Tom in a very vulnerable position. Here comes Mebi now, draining the battery down to 25% as they head into the first corner. B-Tom gonna lift, and he's down to P3. B-Tom going from 1st to 3rd in 1 lap. Now Jose looking to be the next person to take advantage, but he also drained his battery there in that exchange. So B-Tom at least has a little bit more ammo to work with, but take a look at Forzan. Yeah, he is definitely trying to get outside of that 1 second range. And you know what? If he doesn't, if he doesn't do that, and if we don't get a safety car, he might be off to the races because his pace is looking extremely strong. And as a matter of fact, Forzan could be looking at closing in on this battle for second in points with both Silent and Bama not here tonight. And we only have 5 more races to go after this one, but who's to say that he can't go up there and contend with B-Tom for the championship? Especially if he ends up winning back-to-back races today. He could very well make a push, because we've seen it in the silver class this season with Zionicle and F1 Nerd. Well, he might have gone a little bit deep there, but we've seen it in the silver class where Zionicle had a huge lead at the beginning of the season, but F1 Nerd has actually taken over the points lead as of last week. It's neck and neck between those two, so anything can happen at any point in the season. It's definitely not over by any means for Forzan to go up there and compete for the championship. Let's check in with this midfield battle. Fire Up Flow and Confessor within range of each other, and Fire Up Flow looking for a solid run tonight. His best finish of the season is 7th, actually, so he's looking to tie his best effort on the season. He's currently 14th in points. Fire Up Flow actually was, oh, trouble. Giggle spins in the uphill section of the S's. Looks like no wing damage, but he is still out there on those soft tires, so that might be a sign to come on in and put some hard tires on. But what I was saying with Fire Up Flow is that he and Gottany Weave were in the Golden class for a long time. Those two have been teammates for a while, and they are actually both teammates here now in the Platinum class after many seasons down in Golden. So Fire Up Flow, another long-time driver of this league. We definitely want to give kudos to that, because to make as many starts as Fire Up Flow has in this league is hard to do in any league. To have that dedication to show up every week for many years is not an easy thing to do. So kudos to Fire Up Flow, Gottany Weave, and guys like You Having a Giggle for making as many starts as they do. Yeah, Forzan though, Forzan is going to make the race for the lead pretty boring because he is just cruising. And as a matter of fact, though, he has unleashed all of the battery. I'm curious if he's going to keep using it. I mean, there's not much to use, but I can imagine he was doing that just to get outside of that 1 second gap. And he's going to definitely try and extend that gap. I haven't said the P word yet, but penalties have been a big problem the last couple of nights, actually. Silver class and golden class, and myself included, have been a victim to time penalties this week, so. And really, I've heard from some people that this track really isn't one that is, you know, notorious with penalties in comparison to like Canada or France, but you can still get them because there's definitely corners around this track to where you can easily jump the curb and track extend pretty easily, so. I am surprised that we haven't seen one yet, though. Oh, look at Jose. He's going to make a send here on B-Tom. He's going to hold his own around the outside in the chicane. There was nearly contact. They're wheel to wheel, and Jose going to tuck back in line. He's going to use the battery all the way to the end. B-Tom not giving him anything, and Jose going to have to back out. That was definitely a waste of battery there, but we have a couple battles on track. Fire up low. GTR line exchanging positions. Professional going over the curbs a little bit there. Getting passed by Confessor, and man, I'm telling you, if Confessor didn't have that spin in the hairpin, he would be up there for the lead. He qualified in 9th, made his way up to 4th, spun out, and now he's back up to 5th. So, and that's only after 11 laps. Confessor definitely came to play today. He's just got to prevent those mistakes from happening. In this corner specifically. And the brake bias is definitely something that you really want to be precise with because there's a lot of corners with the elevation on this track to where you can definitely lose the back end under braking. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that happen before the race is over. Jose and B-Tom, maybe round 2 of their battle here on this lap, as Jose tried to send it last lap in this corner, but he's going to set himself up here. Does not get the best corner exit there, had a little snap. B-Tom losing time to Mebby, but when it comes to the championship, B-Tom is probably as cool as a cucumber, as Mebby missed his corner a little bit right there. I'm sure B-Tom is a little bit frustrated. I can't speak for him, but I'm sure he wants to be up there competing for the win, as Remsley has DNF in the pits, so 11 drivers remain in the race. B-Tom has won 2 races this season, one of them coming in round 1, so if I want to be a stickler, I can say that B-Tom has only won 1 race in the past 7 races, which isn't saying much, but for B-Tom standards, it's definitely a little underwhelming. But B-Tom looking to win his 5th total championship. And I am a little surprised that Remsley just retired. You know, he still had a shot at getting points, and I know he's a golden class driver showing up tonight. This race doesn't really mean anything for him in regards to a championship, but you know, I am very paranoid about DNFs. I do my best to not DNF no matter what the circumstances are, so that's not something I would have done in his shoes, but do what you want. Alright, here we go. First driver's in the pit, and it's Jose, the first one in on hard tires. Going to mediums this early in the race, that is an interesting call, considering the guy behind him just pitted off the mediums and is going on the hards, so. We'll see which strategy prevails, but I'm assuming this is going to start sending people into the pits relatively soon. Not sure about guys like Forzan, but maybe behind him, guys like Mebby might want to come in. But Forzan, man, take a look at his pace. 2.4 seconds ahead of Mebby. Halfway into the race, that is impressive. I am curious to see what these guys are about to do, though. When they come around to the pit lane, do they follow Jose and come into the pits? Like I said, we're not even halfway through yet, and we already have guys pitting, but you see up ahead, Mebby is blinking. Let's see what they do. Into the Casio triangle. They are all pitting. Forzan pits, Mebby pits, and Beaton pits. Oh! Yeah, I don't know about that. Mebby just took out the pit sign. Not sure if that was intentional, but that's an interesting strategy. I want to take a look at who's coming into the pits next. Maybe Fire Up Flow. I want to watch him here. Because that's definitely a cheeky move to go and take out the pit limiter sign, considering that's what people rely on to get into the pits. But here we go. Jose did not get ahead of Beaton or Mebby. By the time they get out of the S's, their tires are going to be warmed up. So Jose definitely lost out, I think, in this strategy. He is pushing, though. Is he going to try and make a move here? In this right-hander, Beaton goes defensive. And yeah, he's going to hold him off. Jose, I can imagine, is wanting to get something out of this undercut. So let's see if he tries to send in the hairpin. Whoa, yep, he did. Nearly sent it right into Beaton. And there's our first penalty of the day. Chargers, you have been naughty. We're going to take you out back, as I once said. I believe we actually made a short for that, so go check out the shorts. We'll have a bunch of shorts in the off-season for you guys to watch if that's your thing. If you like watching the YouTube shorts, we'll definitely have a bunch to recap the season once Season 16 comes to a conclusion, which, honestly, is not that far away. 5 weeks comes and goes in a hurry, and that's how much time we have left until the season ends. But back to the race. Beaton looking to make a move here on Mebby on the front straightaway, and he's got him. Made that look easy. However, Jose just put in the fastest lap. He's looking to get in on this action. This is the battle for the podium. And really, this is the action on track right now, is everybody else not really within striking distance. Fire Flows trying to stay within DRS range of Professional. But Professional, 89% on the battery. He is saving for the end of the race. He's got a lot of time to make up, though. 10 seconds is a lot to make up, and he might have just gotten a warning there in turn 8. That looked a little close. Beaton is definitely pushing. I think he's starting to feel that pressure from Mebby. But up front, Confessor, will he pit? And honestly, if he stays out here... Nope, he's going to pit. I'm curious, does he go to hards? Oh, man, he was sliding into the pits there. I want to see what tire Confessor goes on to. He's going to do the softs. All right, so medium soft strategy coming into play. Let's see how it works out for him. We know he has the pace, but it's just a matter of can the tires preserve to the end of the race. He's got Professional on the front straightaway tracking him down. Let's see this race coming out of the pits, and Confessor will get him. So Confessor P7, he's got quite the gap up to Jose, but let's see if he can do it. We haven't missed anything here for this battle. For net P1 on track. At the front, GTR Lion and Raikkonen looking to stretch it to also do a medium-soft strategy. And these guys, I assume these guys are definitely doing this based on experience, because both Lion and Raikkonen have raced this week, so they're probably taking into consideration what the better strategy truly is, and maybe it is that medium-soft strategy. Although, actually, I digress, because they raced in the rain yesterday, so maybe they don't have more experience than these Platinum class drivers. I do want to see if they pit, because if they don't, then Forzan is going to have to deal with them, but maybe Forzan is going to try and get by Raikkonen here on the front straightaway. Lion pits, and Raikkonen going to stay on track. Forzan should get him pretty easily, and yep, he's going to get him, so Forzan does not have to deal with lap traffic. Lion gonna pit for the softs. Oh, Mebby has closed in on B-Tom. We're on lap 17 of the race, so it's getting down towards the end of it. Oh, and Giggle just got a 5-second penalty for corner cutting. Did he cut that entire chicane? Might have missed the corner. That's my guess. Although a 5-second isn't the worst thing, because that's something that you can get rid of in the pits. It's not like a 3-second penalty the way that Chargers has, because those penalties you cannot get rid of. I do want to check in on Raikkonen, though. Will he pit this lap? He is the last driver on track to have not made a pit stop. Oh, he went a little wide right there. Might have been a warning. I think Giggle just had an issue in the S's. Not been the best race for him, but he's sticking it out. Maybe somebody ahead of him DNFs and he can get a point. Giggle's pretty good at not DNFing, so I can imagine it will not be him out of everybody that would DNF. But here we go, onto the front straight. Raikkonen is going to pit, which gives B-Tom and Mebby some breathing room to duke it out for this second position. B-Tom is done on battery. Mebby has a little bit more to work with. But take a look at this. Confessor just got fastest lap, and he has gained a couple of seconds on Jose. Now the question is, does he have enough time before the tires burn out? But really, Jose, something happened with Jose, because he is really far back compared to Mebby and B-Tom, so Jose made a mistake somewhere. Oh, yep, he might have made one right there. Might have just gotten a warning, but yeah, Confessor, I'm not sure if he's going to get a podium, but he could catch Jose, because he is eating away at that time pretty quickly. Lion going after Chargers as we go under the bridge into the hairpin. Lion definitely gonna want to make this overtake pretty quickly. He's battling somebody that has slower tires and has a penalty, so I'm sure he is going to want to make this move once they get to the front straightaway. At the front, though, take a look at this. Mebby is there on B-Tom. Is he going to make a push to get around him this lap? Probably not. Jose, you see him in the background right there. Roughly 2.5 seconds behind these two. And this is looking like the battle for P2 as Forzan is putting on a clinic. He came to play today, and he is looking to go back-to-back in the Platinum class for his 3rd career victory in the class. As professional as his name to the naughty list, he gets a 3-second time penalty. But he does have a pretty good gap on fire up flow, and he's not really within range of Confessor, so he's looking to finish in a solid P6. Lion was unable to get around Chargers. What's he gonna do here? Giggle has not had a good last few laps. He spins again here at the beginning of the S's. And imagine his fuel light is yellow. What does that mean? Does that mean he put in too much? Or is the yellow just Oh, I think we just had an issue. Jose just had an issue out of Spoon. He's going to let Confessor by. Oh, he's got damage. Yeah, Jose just had a big crash. That sucks. So Jose going to come into the pits, put on soft tires, and finish this race out. That's a shame, considering he had a potential podium in the works. Oh, Mebby! Oh, he had a little bit of a miss of an apex there, but oh, Jose. Things are going from bad to worse. He just got a 5-second penalty on top of his crash, so definitely not good things for him. Here we go in the midfield, though. GTR Lion, Raikkonen. Man, he is still behind Chargers. He's going to try and make a move right here, though, at the beginning of the S's. Chargers not going to lift. They're side-by-side in the S's. Chargers right at his wheel, and he is going to lift, though. He's going to lose another spot to Raikkonen. A 2-for-1 right there. Chargers going from 7th down to 9th. And now Raikkonen, though, looking to take advantage of GTR Lion, because Lion is still being held up by Fire Up Flow. Let's see what happens in the hairpin. He's going to take a little bit of a wider approach. You haven't missed anything here. Mebby waiting for an opportunity to get by B-Tom. He might try and... Nope, he's going to wait till the front straightaway. Raikkonen touches the battery. GTR Lion. Looks like he's going to wait to get by Fire Up Flow. Fire Up Flow is blinking. These two still going at it. Here we go into the chicane. GTR Lion under pressure from Raikkonen. That will hurt GTR Lion in his pursuit of Fire Up Flow. He's going to use the battery. I think he wants to get by him this lap. Here he goes to the inside. Oh, and Raikkonen going to try and get a 2-for-1 to the inside. He gets Fire Up Flow, but not able to get by GTR Lion. 6th and 7th. Fire Up Flow down to 8th. And he's probably going to stay there because he is on 8-lap-old hard tires. And I don't want to say the S word, but I'm surprised we haven't seen a safety car, considering how this class is when it comes to the amount of safety cars that they tend to get. So, you never know, though. We still have 6 laps remaining, and these two are starting to push. Nebby looking to maybe finally get by B-Tom here. He does follow B-Tom down to the inside of the track. He's looking to make a move here in the chicane. B-Tom gonna back out and give him the spot. Probably setting himself up here for the front straightaway. B-Tom definitely wants to get back by him right here, though. Mebby gonna go defensive. B-Tom gonna back out of the battery, though. We're side by side in 130R. Raikkonen just got by GTR Lion there. Mebby will keep second place. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Forzan disconnects. We'll get him back in here. Well, where is he? There he is. Okay. That is huge, ladies and gentlemen. Race leader has just disconnected with just 5 laps to go in the race. See how quickly he can get back in here. That would stink if Forzan is unable to get back in here, because now Mebby is closing in rapidly. He sees his opportunity to maybe get a win, but Forzan is back. Oh boy. Forzan is back, still in the lead, but this is not over for the race win. Mebby sees this opportunity to finally get back on the top step of the podium after 10 plus second place finishes. Mebby gonna try and take advantage of this here. He's gonna wait for the front straightaway. He's gonna set himself up here for a switchback. Mebby, though, gets blocked in. What's Forzan gonna do? They're side by side for the lead. Here comes B-Tom, though, looking to maybe take advantage of this situation, and Mebby to the lead. B-Tom to the inside, nearly gets cut off by Forzan. And Forzan down to P2. Mebby with a chance to steal one. Oh my goodness. What did I just say a few laps ago, ladies and gentlemen? It is not over until it's over. Back in P8, Chargers getting by Fire Up Flow. Unreal. With just a few laps to go in the race, Forzan has lost the lead. Now the question is, how patient is he going to be to get back by Mebby? He's got a little more ammo to work with on the battery, and his pace has been better this race. Forzan has easily been the fastest driver all race long. Question is, when will he make his move to get back by Mebby? And you know what? B-Tom is licking his chops right now. After being around 3rd to 4th all race long, he is very much in this conversation to possibly steal a victory. As here is Forzan, down to the Casio triangle they go. He's going to wait for the front straightaway. Oh, doesn't get the best acceleration out of turn 18, though. He's going to have to wait another lap, I think, as Mebby goes a little bit defensive, but he's got the gap going into turn 1, so Mebby will keep the lead now. 4 laps to go in the race. Mebby has 4 laps until he finally gets back on the top step of the podium. He's had several races slip through his fingertips just in the past couple of seasons. You know he has the pace to win. It's just a matter of, can he close the deal out and go for his 2nd Platinum Class victory, his first in a long time. And now it's just up to him to hit his marks. There's nothing he can do about the DRS, but he's just got to do his job here. Looks like B-Tom might have gone a little bit deep there in the hairpin. He's going to lose some time, and you know what? He is getting close to exiting this conversation for the victory. Forzan has been harvesting all of the battery, though. He is setting himself up. I think we will see a move before the race is over. It's just a matter of when. When can Forzan do it? And what will Mebby do to hold him off? Coming to 3 laps to go, and Forzan going to force the issue. Maybe this lap. Oh yeah, he's there. Will he do it this lap? 3 to go for Mebby as they cross the finish line. Forzan has DRS. He's going to stay in line. So he is waiting until the last lap, which is probably a smart move, but you know what? This is allowing B-Tom to close right back in. Which, I mean, there's not much Forzan can really do about that, but that is something to keep in mind, so. Oh man, after what we saw this race, if you told me that we would have a 3-car battle for the win, I don't know if I would believe you, but. Take a look at this battle into turn 1, though, for P8, the little bumper tag. Chargers in the grass. Not the first time I've said that tonight, but Fire Up Flow holding his own on those hard tires. Back up to P8. This is what we're going to look at, though. Coming to 2 laps to go as they head through Spoon. Mebby just needs 2 more laps. Keep doing what he's doing, but he's got to recognize that he's going to have to get defensive once Forzan makes a push. And like I said, he's got all of the ammo to work with. And Mebby might be backing him up, actually. I think Mebby recognizes this scenario. And B-Tom, though, how will he affect Forzan's chances at winning this race? Here we go to the front straightaway. 2 laps to go, and Mebby going ultra defensive. Forzan is going to make the move. To the inside, B-Tom going to take it 3 wide for the lead. They all get together, and Forzan drifts through the grass, and he spins around in turn 1. Unbelievable. They went 3 wide into turn 1, and B-Tom goes from 3rd to 1st. Can you believe that? Wow. I said it. B-Tom is not out of this. And take a look at Confessor. He's going to get a podium, and you know what? He is looking still pretty quick at this point in the race. Wow. Confessor could really steal this. I mean, if those two battle and if they have another incident, this is not over for Confessor by any means. Man, you gotta feel for Forzan though. I mean, he was gonna win this race, and he had that disconnect, and that just put him right in the hands of Mebby and B-Tom. Unreal. We have a yellow for Giggle. He is going to finish this race in 11th. Here we go, though. We still have a battle for the victory. Mebby's still in this. Somehow, these two did not spin out after all three of them collided in turn 1. Here we go, though. Final lap. Oh, Mebby has a snap. He is seeing another win possibly slip through his fingertips as we are on the last lap of the race. Oh, boy. Mebby pushing. What's he going to do in turn 1? He goes to the outside. B-Tom defends nicely. Oh boy, B-Tom, if he steals this win, oh boy. Definitely would be one of the more unexpected wins of his Platinum Class career, I can imagine. Only the Platinum Class, ladies and gentlemen, only the Platinum Class. And Confessor is, by the way, he is right there as well. I'm telling you, this could be any one of these guys that wins this race. Mebby, still there. He's going to have to make the move on the back straightaway, though. He's going to have to just hit his marks here until they get to the back straightaway and then dump all of his battery. That's his only chance. Or he's going to have to send it into the chicane. Let's see what Mebby can do. All three of these guys have been in winning scenarios before. Let's see what happens here. Headed down the back straightaway. Mebby uses his battery. Same with B-Tom. Mebby closing in very slightly. B-Tom blinking. Mebby's going to make a move here in the chicane. It's just a matter of where. Right here to the outside for the win. Mebby around the outside. He's going to push B-Tom. They're going to be side by side for the win. B-Tom on the inside gets the acceleration, and B-Tom wins the Japanese Grand Prix round 10. Unbelievable. What a finish. Confessor P3. Looks like he's out of fuel, actually. P4 is going to go to Forzan despite getting overtaken by Professional there. It looks like he got in the grass, actually. Lion finishes 6th, Raikkonen 7th. Fire Up Flow will come in 8th. Wow. Oh boy, you gotta feel for Forzan, you gotta feel for Mebby. Yeah, this is gonna be a spicy interview session, I can just see it. Wow. Oh, and Jose is gonna finish this in the grass, attaboy. And that is it. So, wow. That was one for the books. B-Tom gets the win. He was my pick for the victory, so I finally got one right. I wonder, if Confessor didn't spin in the early laps of the race, I think he might have come out victorious, but there he is. See him rising into the air. That's a different celebration. He is God. B-Tom has proved that he is on the same level as God when it comes to TCR. Wow, that was one for the books. 3 wide into turn 1. That never works out. But B-Tom tried it, and I'm very curious as to what the conversation is going to be here post-race, because that got spicy. And like I said, Forzan, oh, dude, that was his race. Fastest guy all race. A disconnect put him in the hands of being overtaken, and ultimately 3 wide, he got taken out. And I don't know how, but nobody ended up colliding with him and spinning out, you know. B-Tom and Mebby, they got held up, but they ended up not spinning out. Confessor missed Forzan, which, by the way, I needed to go back and look at that, because I think Confessor missed him by a hair. When Forzan was spinning around, that was definitely very close. But What a finish to the race. Professional ends up getting P5, and like I said, these guys making a start tonight as reserves get pretty good finishes, I would say. So we will get them in for interviews, though. Wow. Definitely one for the books. As we will go to the showroom and get this interview started. What a race. Ooh, look at that. I just got $4,600. Hell yeah. Let's make an upgrade real quick, actually. No, there's a lot of upgrades. We'll do that afterwards. All right, so we will wait for these guys to hop on in. Leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you have not already. We are closing in on 600. I'll be giving out free chocolate chip cookies to whoever the 600th subscriber is, so make sure to do that. Looks like we got one of them in. We'll wait for the other two to hop on in. All right, let's just get this going. So we're going to change things up this week. We're going to start with first and then go down to third. But B-Tom, somehow, some way, somehow, you end up winning this race after kind of hovering around third to fourth through the majority of it. You were kind of in a train throughout that front four, just waiting for an opportunity to make a move. It was Forzan who ended up disconnecting, which kind of brought you back into the mix, and then you ended up making that move into turn one. Just talk about that move that you made.
Yeah, well, I saw Forzan was lining up Mem for a move, but I think he was low on fuel. So I noticed he had quite a few opportunities to overtake him, and he seemed to be quite a bit quicker than all of us, despite it being super close in quality. So I think towards the middle of the stint on the medium, I gained like half a second or something like that over the course of like 3 or 4 laps, and this was before he disconnected. So I had a feeling he was low on fuel, and he was trying to save while behind them. But it was the penultimate lap, and I knew that if I was going to win the race, I had to be either first or second. And I thought I had enough battery to just keep first if I took the lead. So yeah, I just went for it. You've probably seen in the chat that Forzan isn't very happy about it, but
oh yeah,
at least I think it was a clean move. I mean, I pulled completely alongside on the straight, and I was on the inside line, so at that point it's my corner. So, and I didn't run anyone out of road. I left everyone enough space, but yeah, I'm sure he'll report it and footage will be submitted, and the stewards will how they stay on it. But from my perspective, I don't think I did anything wrong. So yeah, unfortunate it happened, but that's racing.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I don't think you did anything wrong. And if he submits something, I hope that it doesn't turn into a penalty. But I mean, you probably knew in the back of your mind, though, that there was going to be contact going down into turn one, just because, I mean, 3 wide anywhere doesn't work, but especially going down into turn one at Japan.
Well, normally someone has to back out. You saw I tried overtaking Forza earlier, like right after he rejoined from a disconnect, and I just couldn't quite get close enough, so I just backed out. And it was really close. Like, had I kept my nose in there a little bit, we would have stopped and I would have spun around just like he did. So yeah, it's just a matter of risk versus reward. I think generally I try and, I would say, compared to previous seasons, I've been super, super conservative. I've tried to leave people as much space as possible just because, what the position I'm in, I have the most to lose. So, I mean, you saw into the chicane when Forza first overtook me. I wasn't expecting it, but once I saw it coming, I was just like, let me leave as much space as possible because if we tangle here, then it hurts me a lot more than it hurts him. So, unfortunately, got overtaken by Meb in that situation just because I got a pull run out of that corner, and I think that ultimately cost me a lot more race time than I would have liked and made things harder towards the end of the race, but I'd rather lose a couple points, just giving way than losing a bunch trying to fight it and having an incident. So, yeah.
Right. And we are heading towards the last third of the season, and because Silent and Bama didn't show up, I haven't done the math, but you definitely have at least one race on the competition when it comes to your points lead. We're going into Australia next week for the sprint week, so how are you feeling about your pace at this point in the season? This is your third win of the season, but like I said, you were kind of hovering around third or fourth this race, so just kind of evaluate your pace at this point in the season.
I think my pace has been okay. There have been a couple of races that haven't quite gone to plan. We had the little situation in Danville, where I got topped by Silent. Wasn't much you could do. We were just stuck behind a bunch of far slower cars. And then in France, I had my wheel break just before the start of the race. So I knew going into that I was going to be slow. I think I went to Australia, and then in Spain, I had the pace at first, but towards the middle of my stint on the hards, I just got like really big snaps in turn 3, like 2 or 3 laps in a row, and that just completely put me out of contention. And I didn't figure out why it was happening until it was too late. Probably see why I was closing up on Silent at the end, but just ran out of laps. So I think my pace is it's been decent. I wouldn't say it's been like the best or anything special. Everyone's super close, so it's really just about trying to get decent track position in quality and then maybe undercutting or something like that. It's powerful in this game. As you saw, everyone fell the same lap, and had anyone stayed out, they for sure would have been like 2 seconds behind when they came out of the pits on the next lap. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to make sure I'm at least in the ballpark, and then it's all about race execution from there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's all I got. So yeah, man, congrats on the win, and I don't want to say anything too early, but you're looking good for the championship, so keep it up.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, and now we go down to P2, Meb. Oh, man, you were so close to getting by B-Tom there at the end. Honestly, I think you did everything right. You were put in a vulnerable spot there in the turn 1 with that 3 wide scenario, but you and B-Tom still fought it out. Yeah, just talk about your battle with him there at the end.
It was pretty good, very intense. Congrats to him. We kept it clean throughout. But yeah, I got ran off track a little bit because I was thinking like before the last lap, or like at the start of the last lap, Porter was gonna pass me, so I was gonna try to get him back, like at the main straight. But then B-Tom made a move, and they tangled. But I just tried to keep it clean. I was ran off track a little bit. I lost a little bit of momentum, but I kind of caught up again and used some ERS and just drained it towards the end. But it was really clean. I'm really happy. It was a lot of fun.
And so you were in second actually when Forzan had his disconnect, and at that point he was a good 4 seconds up the road. What was your reaction at that time? Were you a little excited, or were you kind of just getting your head down, using that battery, and just focusing on getting by him?
Yeah, I was just trying to get my head down because, like B Tom said, I think he was running, he was low on fuel, so he was losing quite a bit of time before he disconnected, and that's what I thought. I'll try to keep it clean and just catch up to him without using a lot of DRS. But then when I tried to make my move, it was a little bit like his AI was a little bit like too slow at the last chicane, so it took me a while to get past him, and I used a little bit too much DRS. So I was just trying to keep it clean up until the last lap and see what would happen. Because I knew, the DRS is just too powerful in the slipstream.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, really, I saw it the whole race. You guys were pretty much just nose to tail, just kind of waiting for a good opportunity, just because that's how the game is. The DRS is really powerful, and you got to save that battery for a good opportunity. But how do you feel like your battery usage was? You feel like you did a good job at using it at the right points? Was there anything you would have done differently, or do you think you did everything you could to put yourself in a good position?
Yeah, I tried to save as much as I could, but I made a few mistakes on the hards. I was struggling a little bit, so I had to use a little bit more than what I wanted. Sector 2 was really bad for me, so I kept losing the rears and going over the curves too much. And then I had to use the RF to defend from Jose. And I just used a little bit too much. I try to keep it like towards the end. Try to keep it, try to save as much as I could, but then just the guys was just fighting and forced undisconnected, so then I had to use a little bit more than what I wanted. But I was gonna keep, I was just shooting to keep P2. That's what I wanted to do.
Right on. Well, I know you definitely wanted to finish one spot better and probably 3/10 better, because that's pretty much how close it was. But yeah, but yeah, if you just keep doing what you're doing, man, you're gonna win before the season's over. You keep putting yourself in that spot. It's definitely gonna work out. But yeah, man, congrats on the podium, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Okay, so that will do it. Charles wasn't here tonight, so it was just me up here in the booth, but it was a good finish at the end. It was kind of looking like Forzan was going to pull away there, but his disconnect really, really shook things up, and 3 wide into turn 1 caused a little incident, and ultimately B-Tom ended up coming out victorious, so he gets his 3rd win of the season. But we will be back, hopefully, if everybody keeps showing up. We will be back next week in Australia for round 11. We're getting down to it. It's hard to believe that this season is going by as fast as it is, but we will be back next week for round 11, the Australian Grand Prix for the sprint race and the feature. My name is Camden Luca, and that will do it. We will see you next week in